kitchen whipping chicken, kind of bread like kinds. Good dog, got a Mexican looking like Johnny Dine. Eat deep muddy water stick, carry my kind. Right pocket got money, left pocket cocaine. Bulletproof white Cadillac, riding in the tank. I'm a dirty bad baby from dirty bay with a dirty case. Slide down your block, light it up with flame. Chopping on the block, while the leg doing jumping jacks. Smoking on the wood, yellow timber like it's lumberjack. Suppressor on the Mac 10, sounding like it's bubble wrap. TV in the shower, I'ma give his ass a bubble bath. Choppers and choppers, little bitch, I got a whole lot of that. With the steel, I'ma kill ya, I got him falling back. Got me feeling like a baby that's spinning, so with my body let, I'm just rhyming words, I don't even know how to rap. Every time that they see me, baby, leader, I'm flossed up. Got crossed up, dick in the dirt, and I'm bossed up. I be catching these plays, fuck around and get moused up. I be eating the booty, let's start to get it tossed up. Pop truck on the hater while we waving goodbye. I'm from Lone Star, sipping lean with pecan pie. I don't play by respect for that, we gon' die. Time and money, so baby, believe I'ma be on time.
Welcome. Oh, Tosh, you've made it to another day, another time, another cast, blast from the past here. We're playing some games from 2014, the day I graduated into an RPG monger. Guys, welcome back to the playthrough. Last time we went to Caladot and we helped a bunch of kids find their way to salvation, I suppose. They just prayed at the end, but they're still in kind of a bad area. Nevertheless, we'll revisit the kids soon and see where their lives head. For now, though, we're traveling. We're traveling this episode. I think I'm going to split this up into a couple of parts. But for the first one, we're just going to travel over to our next town. It's going to be the town of Allegratio? I don't know, man. I'm probably going to pronounce this so wrong 9,000,000 times. And I don't think I'll ever correct myself to do it right. Allegratio. Algracio. I'll just call it Al, probably. Good old Al. So it's the desert town here. And this is actually the second to last town that we will be revisiting in the first half of this storyline, this game-ish. Until we get to the end section. And those towns, well, a couple of towns should be a little familiar. There's these three, and then there's three more at the end. And one of them should be familiar. Pretty good place. I think it might be it's not my favorite desert town, but it's probably like my third favorite town in this version. Good old Al. I like this one the best, probably. I like all the stairs in there and Caladot and whatnot, so I'm a big Caladot fan. It's also where you get the skill points at the All Trades Abbey. Of course, you know. We will be doing that next version. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and leave Caladot. We're just getting our MP back here, and we're gonna take the Chrono crew over to the desert. While we travel here, I'm gonna go ahead and get the story spoilers out of the way so that I don't have to reiterate and go over them again and again throughout the part, yada yada yada. Okay. So we'll get this out of the way here. Our story spoilers just so happens to be a pretty cool town. So Allegratio is set up like the basically like the arena or the Colosseum town, if you will. There's a big Colosseum, and when we get in there, of course, as you always do in Dragon Quest, you go visit the king, and the king's like, "Oh, we're about to have a tournament. Come to the tournament ground. I'll show you what we do here. This is the tournament town." So we go there, good old battle arena, and we see that they are killing monsters for blood sport if they lose the battle. So that's just kind of their thing. They just kill monsters in the battle arena. So. That's their culture. And there's a cute girl who's like, no, don't kill him. How dare you? He deserves honor and all this bullshit because he's a cool tiger. And so the guy actually spares his life, but then the people try to attack the little girl, and she's like, ah, and then we defend her, of course, because she's cute. We defend cute things. And then there's something about her though, and she's like, oh, something about you too. So we go to a little stone monument outside because she can't read. She needs us to read monuments. So we go to the graves, a little stone monument outside of the town there to have a little bit of a moment. And during this moment, we find out that the people here didn't always used to hate monsters. They used to like monsters because there's a grave of a guy buried with his monster companion. And there's a grave of like a bunch of monsters or whatever. So we find out this information. And with this information, we decide to befriend a monster who has a matching pendant to this girl. And she's like, I wonder why they have a matching pendant to me. That's curious, right? So we go find and befriend the monster over in the jungle nearby where they ran off to after they were chased off. You know, they ran away. So we find the saber-toothed tiger, and you know they got the magic pendant, and the saber-toothed tiger tells us we got to go back and we got to rescue the monsters or whatever. So you know, we go back to town and devise a plan to get into the jail cells where the monsters are, and then we execute. You know, we execute. We get the monsters out of there using a brilliant strategy. You know, foolproof plan. Couldn't fail in any other context. You know, just foolproof. Truly. And when we free the monsters, everyone goes into the arena, and then the king, Bermude, we find out was actually the guy on the grave, who liked the monsters. He was the guy who was friendly with the monsters before. But what happened with this town, we're continuing on with the theme of these towns being in tragic states. So Nurgle with his mist turned all the monsters into humans and the humans into monsters in this town. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So basically, what Bermude was doing was just killing all the humans for blood sport in the arena and letting all the monsters run around because he was a friend of the monsters. And during the war, I think there's a flashback. If it's not in this part, it's later in the episode. But back during the war, when Nurgle took over, and there was a giant war in Lendersia and everything, you know, and he burned our village first and all this shit in the prologue. During the war, they put the monsters that Bermude helped in the front lines. Ahead of everybody else, and we're like, well, they'll kill the monsters that are your friends first, and we'll keep all the soldiers safe. So I guess his evil, vengeful heart from that, you know, seeing his monsters be meat shields, turned him into an evil guy. Once the evil spirit gets within you, you know, once enough evil influence comes, all you just need is an evil spirit to come take that over, and you know. So we turn into a monster, we kill him. And then the cute girl realizes she was a monster, and she was Bermude's monster. Oh, that all makes sense. So they were together before, and she wants to revive him, but he's like, "No, leave me dead, please. Hey, this is my atonement," and all this bullshit. You know it. And it's very sad, and it's very heartful, and it's a good story. And then we move on. You know, we move on to the next part, where it gets a little bit more interesting here. Not that this one isn't pretty interesting. I like the twist here. It kind of reminds me, strangely enough, like the monsters turning into humans, humans turning into monsters. You know, it's kind of like us all turning into like zombies in the digital age, you know what I mean? Because it used to be where, I guess, the dead internet theory, you know, it kind of brings up a little bit of this, you know, where the internet is filled with all these weirdos doing weird things, and now it's going to be filled up with all this like AI, so it's like the AI is turning into people's turning into. I don't know. There are parallels that you could draw. Perhaps in a different part, I will make my analogies a little bit clearer. But I like the concept. I like the concept. Um, it gets expanded on a little bit further, and I'm trying my best not to spoil the main plot line before we get to 2.1. But it'll possibly happen this part or next part. It's kind of hard to get around it when you have all these like tragic states and towns that I can't talk about. But yeah, the Demon War did a lot to Lendersia, but that's why we are here to save it, to do our thing, all that good shit. But that's the end of the story spoiler section. I hope everybody is having a good whatever day it is today. I didn't say that yet today. So I hope you guys enjoy when I say that. I enjoy saying that. Um should do it more at the beginning of the video. I should also get like a beginning spiel to, get out, but I have to work on the script for that. I don't really know what to say. I just kind of start these things up, I don't really get into character because I'm trying to build my own character. I'm trying to see who I am on the inside, peer inside myself with perspective. The easiest way to do that is just come in, blank mode, ghost mode, and roll. And gotta do it yourself, because no one's gonna do it for you. And I think I do want to talk about that. Yeah, I think it's a ghost time. I think it's ghost time. So let's talk about ghost mode while we're traveling to Al here. Let's talk ghost mode. I feel like ghost mode is helpful for all of us. Come on, guys. I know it's scary to be alone. I know it's boring to be alone. I know it's less productive to be alone. But that's where the most progress is made. That's where the most growth happens. So, to utilize your alone time to the best way possible, best, highest facility you can, we're gonna go over a couple of tips, a couple of facts I've learned about ghost mode so far. A little about me and my ghost mode history. I've been not necessarily neglecting, but actively dismissing my social life for about a year or two. And that just means, I don't like, reach out to people and be like, "Hey guys, I'm going ghost mode. Please don't text me." I just kind of don't engage. And if people engage with me, I strategically decide when to engage back. And I try to be good about letting people know that I'm not about the active life, but I feel like eventually people just kind of get the picture when you stop showing out, stop showing up. And no one's gonna be there for you if you don't even show up for yourself. So that's why it wasn't for truly beneficial reasons at first, but there are benefits that can be derived for it, So there's ways to do it well, and there's ways to just, chill under the covers all day and goon and have a terrible life. But I can tell you both sides of that, and I can tell you it's way funner on one side than the other, and I'll let you decide which. I mean, the easiest way to find out is you just do both. I don't think that path is. I don't think that path is restricted for anyone. There's definitely both ways to do it. So, and I think a good balance is certainly required. I feel like one thing that I'm still learning in myself is that even when you're scheduling things and you're getting things done, you also have to factor in the rest time. You gotta factor in times when you can just shut down as well. So good balance is always necessary. But if you want to know why you want to go ghost mode for the good reasons, there's a couple of things that it can do for you. that'll help when you eventually want to jump out of it, or form a valuable relationship, yada yada yada, right? So a couple of these ghost mode benefits I have written down here. The first one is attraction, and this is very fucking annoying. Because if you're actually trying to grow yourself and you get more attractive, then you have to actively shoot people down, swat people in the face, and be like, "Stop trying to hang out with me." Everybody's all smiling in your face, and you just see terrible intentions everywhere. But it's true. When you push everything away, it all starts to come closer to you. So, in my eyes, you can't block your blessings, right? So if you're in ghost mode and something is really, really pulling you in, or trying to be attracted to you there, or trying to pull you in, and you just keep rejecting, 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 dip a toe in. You can never go wrong with learning new information. Just don't stay invested, and stay on your purpose. You know what the main objective is, but there's no reason you can't complete a side mission, in my opinion. But yeah, the attraction is a big thing. It'll grow it a lot. And you'll notice, just from the fact that you don't need to talk to people, you don't want to talk to people, a lot more people will seek your validation and seek your attention. Try to get you to notice them. Try to reach out more. All this stuff. And you'll also notice, the attraction from people who used to be attracted to you may even grow. Sometimes it may lessen, but if it does lessen, then it probably never was there in the first place. You were probably just feeding them drops and drops and drops, and you're like, "Oh yes, this water cup is completely full." When in reality, you just had a pee dropper and you just kept dropping shit in there and sipping it out. Ridiculous. It happens to us all, guys. The thing is, it's very easy to just text people back when they text you and never hit them up. Um, it's like getting a notification on your phone. It's just like taking a piss. Like your body's gonna tell you when to piss. The person's gonna tell you when to text them back. You just gotta fucking hit the notification. Super easy. So when you stop reaching out and people don't reach out to you, don't take it as like personal, or like an offense to you. It's just, most people feel like it's mean or unfair to say, "Hey, I really don't care about you at all." Not even a little bit. But I don't find that mean. I would actually prefer if people said that to me, because I think it's true for most people. But instead, we have a world where most people are going to say, "I care about you a lot, and I hope you the best, and I wish everything for you, and I'm so interested about your life," and not put words behind it, instead of the other way around. Uh, but anyways, less of my bitching and more of the benefits for ghost mode. All right, less bitching, less bitching. I like the water effects here too. It's very cute, very pixelated. What ghost mode is going to do is going to raise your standards to higher levels, because when you strip everything off, you figure out what you want. It's not about making our standards to the highest degree. It's about getting specific about exactly what we want to let in to our atmosphere, exactly what's going to benefit us intrinsically. Once you get really specific about that, it automatically becomes higher, because you're going to accept a lot less of what isn't congruent to what you want. But yeah, the goal isn't to just find the most high value woman or high value man in the fucking world. It's to find the perfect match, the perfect puzzle piece for you. We're not just looking for giant SSSRs, like if you're a water type, I just want a fire type, all that bullshit. um but it's going to raise your standards, because when we're alone, we figure out, "Hey, I could use this piece," or "Hey, I could use this piece." I mean, you're not going to find out what connects to you while you're constantly, fitting it in other things. You have to be alone and feel your own aura for a second to figure out what's missing. It's like it's a lot easier to taste the salt when it's just sitting there in like the salt container or whatever. Yeah, you taste purely salt to test it, like a control group. But when you start mixing salt with, rice, mixing salt with, okay, rice was a bad example, but you mix salt with different things and different properties and whatnot, and you're gonna get a different flavor, and it may be, oh, I really like this flavor, but you can't test the control to see what I want to add to the flavor, what I would think would go well with this flavor cooking wise. I guess that's a good analogy. We'll go with that one. We'll go with that one. Ghost mode allows you to set clear boundaries. One thing about me is that I didn't really like setting boundaries. I didn't understand them. I didn't understand the point of them. Because I was like, well, I'm not really uncomfortable with anything, and anything I am uncomfortable with, I want to do more to make myself less uncomfortable with it. And my love language is time together, so I'm always, I'll be there with you, I'll help you out with stuff. But the thing is, guys, boundaries help us gain respect, because that's what usually, I mean, that's what me as a guy, that's what I want from most of my relationships. I'm really in it for the love, but the boundaries will help us gain respect because they're sort of like guidelines, they're sort of like overstepping areas. And then once you have that sort of baseline of being alone, you know when you most like to be alone. When you most would like to be left to your own devices. Because when you're having the most fun by yourself, that's probably when you want to hold your boundaries close to your heart. And knowing that information is very valuable, very, very valuable. So I would recommend, another reason, go in ghost mode, make those boundaries clear. Know yourself and know when you absolutely need to be alone, need to be without other people, want to be in this headspace, in that headspace, or whatever. You gotta know. And then they can be more clear the more alone time we have.